I was born into a Christian home. My dad was the music director at the church, so my family, we were there all the time, and it just was what we did. I was in a vacation Bible school at age 6 that I accepted Christ. I can remember it very vividly. Just really haven't ever had any, certainly trials, but never wavering to know that my Heavenly Father was watching me and carrying me. I always felt like the reason that it was so easy for me was I had a father here on earth that did the same. In my teen years, I read a book called The Family Nobody Wanted, and it was about a pastor and his wife that took in children that didn't have homes. And it really, really impressed me. In my 20s, I had my first son, and I was in a Bible study with a bunch of women, and we focused on James chapter 1, verse 2 and 3, where it says, "Count it all joy for your trials, because it helps you with your perseverance." And so anything I've gone through in my life, it's always come back to that thought that I need to count these things joy because the Lord's preparing me. When my oldest was about ready to graduate high school, I worked with a lady that helped with adoptions, and I had my first chance to adopt a little boy. So the same weekend that our son went to college, we brought John home. He was 4 years old. He lived in about 9 different homes in his first 4 years, and we were going to be his forever family. Lots and lots of trials for him through childhood and teen years, but he loves the Lord. He's 30 now, and just a true joy when he's in our presence. When he was 11, I got a phone call that there was a friend of mine gave birth to a little girl that she couldn't keep, and would we like her? Well, that's my daughter, and she's now 19 and loves the Lord, doing great. All through the years, I would always think when there was something coming up, there's a mother out there that didn't get to raise these 2 kids. I've got to do it for them, and God's going to help me. So that was always kind of in the back of my mind, that I got 2 kids that needed me, and in a way I needed them. About 5 years ago, we decided that my parents needed a little more help than we could give living apart. So we moved into a home where the whole family would fit. And about a year after we moved together, we took the Israel trip. Mom and Dad and my husband and my daughter and I. Probably the most impressed thing I got from that is I was walking where my Heavenly Father walked, getting to hold the hand of my earthly father. And whenever I read the Bible and I think I've been there, and I was holding my dad, we were walking those trails or struggling, we held each other up. Last year, we were all my daughter was graduating, my daddy was going to turn 90, I was going to turn 65, so we decided to take a family trip to Hawaii just to celebrate all of our milestones. My mom will tell the story that Daddy would sit there in the chair and we could see the ocean as far as it could be, and he'd say, "I think I see Jesus." I could imagine him walking. And it's just a real blessing that we had him, because a month after we got back, my dad had a stroke and he passed away 20 days later. It was a great 20 days of getting to hold his hand. Every time we were there, he'd sing Amazing Grace. And once he passed, then I had Mom, and we found out my husband had cancer. So the trials continued. One of my favorite verses, Isaiah 40:31. "They that wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." I no longer have a job outside my home, so I need to care for my mom and my husband, but I will never, ever forget who's on my side, who's carrying me along. I can remember being as a child thinking, how am I going to ever have a testimony? I didn't do anything crazy or fall apart. But when I thought about this, I thought, I have a testimony. I had an earthly father that loved me beyond measure, and a heavenly Father that walks me through the end. So as I think about what's to come, I think I want to be strong. I want, wherever I go, people to know that I'm strong because of my faith and my Heavenly Father that's walking me there. A year and a half ago, when I started the discipleship group, being involved, it was really from a heart of, I felt like everything was so inward. And I'd listen to Pastor Andy and I think, we need to spend some time being outward too. I just remember the joy on my parents' face when I told them that I wanted to do this, and it'd probably be about 4 people and be once a week. They were just thrilled that our home was getting to open it up to others so that we could do our Christian life, our walk with someone outside of our family. Well, in that process, we met amazing people that had similar walks or very different, but we could encourage each other. And I think that what was very cool about the discipleship group was that I could kind of focus on someone else when, I could say, okay, well, that's something that I haven't had to do, or I remember going through that. This is what I can do to help them. So that has certainly been key to how I've gotten through the fact of my father's passing, of my husband having to go through therapy and seeing him, struggle so, and my mom's sadness. The last part of however long I have to be on this earth, that has to be the strong part, the part that is making sure that I'm looking not just on those that I'm caring for because they're in my home and I love them, but that I'm finding those to reach out to that just need the encouragement that I grew up with, that I've always known that God's on my side, that He's not going to leave me, and that I'm going to mount up with wings as eagles when I'm trusting what He has for me.